Hi everyone, today I want to discuss quite a hot topic in the health and fitness world at the moment, and that is not using scales to track your progress. You may have seen other personal trainers talk about this online. The scales used to be seen as the measure of progress in the weight loss industry, and that is because people were just dieting to lose weight. There was no consideration for training, so no muscle mass gain, and also a lack of understanding about how the body works, how we hold on to fluid. So it was a measure that was used when we had less information than we do now. And like all industries, the health and fitness industry has progressed massively, and therefore we're starting to understand that the scales aren't really the best measure of your progress. However, whilst personal trainers understand that, it's sometimes difficult for people who are trying to lose weight or trying to make changes in their lifestyle to get on board with that. And I can understand that. That is because you need to know that what you're doing is working, and you want to see that number, and you want to see the progress, and you want to see the number coming down. I totally get that, I completely understand. However, what we're trying to do is shift that mindset a little and try to help you understand that the scales aren't the be all and end all anymore. That used to be the message, and things are changing because the industry is evolving. And so today, rather than kind of go on about the scales, what I want to do are give you tools to use to track your progress, so you don't feel always the need to step on the scales and check your weight. What we need is to substitute the scales for something else rather than just say don't use them. So that's what today's video is about. So the two main tools that really I think you should use are the measuring tape and your phone. So the measuring tape, very simply, will measure the inches around your body. So the three main points I would advise that you measure would be across the chest, across the stomach, and across the hips. So to measure across the chest, you measure across the nipples. Across the stomach, measure across your belly button. And then across the hips, measure at the widest point of your hips, making sure to keep your feet together all the time. So they'd be the three main points. And I would do them at similar, I would measure them in the same way that you perhaps measured, that you perhaps used the scales. Now I say that tentatively because I know there are people out there that weigh themselves every day. That is never advisable. So if you're doing that, that's a bad move. Make sure, even if you're still determined to step on the scales, you only do it at maximum once a week, but probably fortnightly would be better. And I would say the same with the measuring tape. I would measure your inches once a week or once a fortnight, and measure them on the same day, just so you get into a routine. And the reason the measuring tape is so good is because the scales don't take into accountability muscle gain. So if you're training hard, you should be gaining some muscle. If you're just specifically, if you're doing any weight training, body weight training, you will be gaining muscle. That is weight. That the scales will not make a distinction between fat and muscle. It's just weight. So what the measuring tape does is it lets you know if your inches are coming down. Now, if you have dropped some fat and gain some muscle, your inches will still be down because muscle is much leaner than fat. So that's why the measuring tape is such a good tool. And it's really, really simple to use as well. So I think people don't like to use a measuring tape because they think it's a faff, but actually, if you measure those 3 points, it's nice and simple. Just quickly, before I move off the measuring tape, ½ inch loss in a week or a fortnight is a lot. So sometimes people hear ½ inch and think, oh, that's not that great. It's excellent. So just be prepared that you're not going to drop inches, 2 or 3 inches every week. That won't happen, but what you will see are those inches very slowly coming down. So that's what to look for. The other really good tool is just a picture. Take a picture with your camera phone in some tight clothing, or even in your underwear. Take a picture, and then about 6 weeks later, take another picture so that you see the difference. Sometimes those changes aren't completely visible week on week, but after a 6-week period, they should be visible, and then after another 6-week period, they will be more visible again. So the picture is probably one of the best comparisons because you'll see it everywhere, in your arms, in your thighs, in your face, you know, so it really gives you a full look at your progress over 6 weeks. The other great thing about a picture is that you need to wait 6 weeks to see some changes. There's a really big misconception in the health and fitness industry that you should see results every single week. That's actually not a reality. Even if you're putting in the work every single week, sometimes it will take 2 or 3 weeks before you see any change, and that's what kind of, unfortunately, what diet culture taught us, is that every week we should expect a big result, every week we should see weight loss, and if that's not happening, it's not working and we give up. And that's actually probably the worst misconception about the scales, is that if we don't see that change every week, well, let's give up. And what the picture makes you do is have a little more patience, and you're only expecting to see a change every 6 weeks, and in your mindset you're focused for that period of time. This kind of week on week mindset actually doesn't lead to very successful long-term progress. I know some people will be watching this and they'll say, well, I weigh myself every week and you know, I like to see the impact and the number on the scales, but as a general sense, you know, and sorry, I should go back to that, they're probably correct. Some people, the scale does motivate them, but actually, as a much broader sense, if we take the diet industry as a whole and the health and fitness industry as a whole, what we find are actually the scales can often give people a very negative mindset and a very negative relationship with food and dieting, and that's what we've learned over this time, and that's what we're trying to move away from. So whilst I appreciate the need to go on the scales, I totally understand the mindset. As a woman, I get it, I absolutely get it, but I think this is now the time to try and move away from that as much as possible, move away from that mindset, and try and look at other ways of tracking progress. Tracking progress is what is the most important thing. We need to know that what we're doing is working, and that's what the measuring tape and a picture will provide. So if you can, put away the scales this week and give one of these methods a try, and I think you'll feel the benefit, not even just in terms of your results, but also on your mindset. So give it a go.